Bart Marcois, who joins us live from here in Washington. He was the principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of Energy for International Affairs during the Bush administration. Additionally, Marcois served as a career Foreign Service officer with the State Department. We really appreciate you being with us. First of all, why was this trip so necessary in the middle of a global pandemic?
I think when you look at the pandemic, and by the way, Egan, to all of your viewers in Turkey, and thank you for having me on. This is my first time on the channel, and I'm grateful to be here with you. I think that he is going because they are moving the missile batteries out of Saudi Arabia. They're moving the Patriot missile batteries out of Saudi Arabia. They believe the threat from Iran, the high-level threat from Iran to Saudi Arabia is over. And he's going to the region to coordinate Iran policy with our most important ally in the region. I think that's part of it. I think it's also that with the pandemic going on, there is one sector of the economy that has not been harmed by this pandemic, that has actually thrived and is looking to continue to thrive throughout the recovery, which is coming, which will probably be a very robust recovery, and that's the high-tech sector. And there are 4 countries that are influential in that sector: the United States, Israel, China, and Taiwan. China is about to be cut out, I think, of manufacturing, of high-tech, of trade, of all kinds of commerce because of the way that they have handled the virus, the outbreak, their communications with the world about the outbreak. And the other 3 countries that are the high-tech leaders are looking to coordinate industrial policy in some way and technical capabilities.
Bart, as you just mentioned, there are these talks focused on shared concerns about Iran and the Trump administration's peace plan, which allows Israel to annex almost a third of the West Bank. How controversial is the issue of annexation?
Oh, depends on what country you're in. If you're in an Arab or Islamic country, the annexation is the most controversial topic, one of the top 3 most controversial topics of the year. In the United States, it passed without notice. It's not controversial here at all. The American view of the Palestinian problem is that although there is a tremendous sympathy for the suffering of the Palestinian people over decades of misery, there is very little sympathy and patience with the leadership of the Palestinian people. There's a feeling, especially among government circles, that U.S. government circles, that the Palestinian leadership have tried to keep their people poor and destitute and miserable so that they could use them as a bargaining chip. And if they're happy and prosperous, then there's no reason to go in and solve the underlying political issues. People in Washington are really tired of that approach and have said, you know what, one party is willing to come to the table, we're going to deal with that party. President Trump laid out his plan to both sides. The Israelis snapped it up quickly, and the Palestinian leadership has not. And Trump and his advisors have said, it doesn't matter, we're moving on.
You know, it's that fact right there, though, Bart, the fact that, you know, the United States would leave annexation up to Israel, which just destroys any prospect of a 2-state solution, which is only going to lead to more unrest in the region. So why make that a legislative priority right now?
I think that they are simply following through on business as usual. It's an election year. This was one of the president's international priorities, and he's finishing up his business, keeping the promises he made that he would do everything he could to make this no longer America's problem. And I don't think he's siding with one side over the other and deciding that it's going to be a one-state solution, I think he's made it clear he still expects there to be a two-state solution. And the annexation plan is only part of the solution that President Trump has put forward. The other part of it is recognition for Palestinian autonomy. He just wants to finish his campaign promises before he officially starts his re-election campaign and say, I said I would do this, and I have done it to the best of my ability.
Bart Marcois, we really appreciate you coming on to give us your perspective. Thanks for that.